What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Outer Banks. Huge thank you to Matt Newman over at Koons Sterling Ford here in Sterling, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Bronco Sport or any Ford product, I'll be sure to have Matt's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. With that said, let's get into the video. It was an absolutely beautiful late January day today. However, it seems like we picked up a little bit of a breeze, so I do want to apologize in advance if there is any wind noise in today's video. There really shouldn't be, but if there is, I wanted to apologize in advance for that. But just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Outer Banks. And this particular one has been painted in shadow black, which I can see is blending in with the shadows in the back. I also wanted to preface this video by saying for 2024, Ford introduced the new freewheeling trim to the Bronco Sport lineup, as well as 2 new paint color options and a couple other things that do not pertain to the Outer Banks. But this being the Outer Banks, as standard, you get LED headlights with automatic high beams, as well as LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and LED fog lights. Now, taking a step to the left, this is what the front end of the Outer Banks looks like. So you do get a gloss black front grille with the white Bronco script. And this is what I'm referring to as your front grille here. And then coming down just a little bit more, you get a satin black front bumper with some gray accent colored trim. And I'm going to point that out to you now. So you can see this piece right here that goes across to this side. This is that gray accent color trim piece that I am referring to. I'll try to get you a better view of that down here. And then last but not least, you get 7.8 inches of ground clearance with the Outer Banks. And like I just mentioned, you get that satin black front bumper, and that satin black bumper leads into your satin black wheel arch moldings. And then these are the standard wheels with the Outer Banks, and they are 18-inch gloss black with machine face wheels, and these wheels are wrapped in 225/60 Michelin Primacy all-season tires. Give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick. There you go. That is what they look like. And then you also get some carpeted lining in here just to help aid with road noise. You also get these faux satin black fender vents, as well as rain sensing wipers as standard. Coming on down the side, you get satin black side mirrors, and these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding, and you will find your blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. Now, taking a step back, here's a little side profile shot of this thing. You may notice at the top of your roof line, you get those satin black roof rails. And then with the Outer Banks, you get a black two-tone safari style roof. So all of this up top here is all blacked out. So if you got the rest of the car in white, this up top here would stay that gloss black. And you can see this is what I'm referring to as like that safari style roof. I think that's pretty cool. Then you also get some satin black window trim. You get body color door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind the keyless access function is only on your front 2 door handles. The rear 2 door handles do not get that keyless access function. Also only on your front 2 doors, you have your Outer Banks badging. And then at the bottom of all of your passenger doors, you get that satin black cladding again. You get the satin black arch moldings, you get the satin black cladding, and again, you get those arch moldings here in satin black, as well as that satin black rear bumper. You also get a capless filler neck. 87 octane will do you just fine with this thing. And then here is a rear 3/4 shot of the Outer Banks. And then up top here, you got your satin black antenna. You have your third brake light. You get a rear window defroster. You get this small little wiper back here. By the way, this glass opens, which I'll show you here in a second. But you do get LED combination taillights. So this strip right here is LED, and then all the other lights for your taillights are all just that standard lighting element. And then you get the white Bronco and white Sport script, as well as a Ford logo on the left-hand side of your lift gate. So this is a manual lift gate, but like I said, you can open up this upper glass piece by putting your hand to the left of the backup camera. That will give you access to this upper glass piece. So that opens up. But then to the right of your backup camera, this will open up the entire lift gate, so you get access into loading stuff up into here. Now, this one's been optioned with the $195 cargo management system, which is what this piece is right here. It's kind of like a shelf. So you can take this out if you wanted to. And then a couple other things. You get a 12-volt power outlet on the passenger side of your trunk. Then you get lights also on the passenger side of your trunk, as well as a cargo cubby here. Another cargo cubby on this side as well. Here are your rubber mats. Here are your standard mats. You can see they're carpeted with the Bronco Sport script. And then moving all this stuff out of the way, if you lift up on here, that is where you will find your temporary spare tire. And then one thing that I think is pretty cool about the Bronco Sport, I guess, before I get into that, you can also fold down these second row seats by pressing on that and pushing forward. And you can see those second row seats will drop. If I move the seat forward for the driver's seat, those seats would fold flat, and then you get about an additional, 4 feet of storage space. And then you can see this little button right here, and you may be asking, what does that button do? So when you click on that button, that turns on your floodlights here on your lift gate. And one thing that's pretty cool about these floodlights is that you can move them. I'll try to get it better on camera. So you can move them this way, you can move them this way. You can see they're movable floodlights. So pretty cool, and obviously both sides move forwards and backwards like that. That's a pretty cool feature that some of you may not know that the Bronco Sport had. Pressing on that button again, and those lights will turn right back off. Really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in the trunk area. Now, closing that back up, I already mentioned this, but I'm gonna point it out again. You got your backup camera right there. And then taking a step back, you get a satin black rear bumper with 4 integrated parking sensors. You also get 2 reflectors and LED license plate lights. A couple things I wanted to mention is that you could get the optional $690 Class 2 trailer tow package, which would give you a trailer hitch. I apologize about those geese. And then if you got the Class 2 trailer tow package, you would get a max tow capacity of 2,000 pounds. So you could pull a jet ski, you could pull an ATV. While it may not be the most capable, it will get the small little jobs done. Like if you needed to, bring a utility trailer full of brush to the dump, you could do that. You could obviously, like I already said, pull a couple bikes, pull an ATV, as long as all of that weight is under 2,000 pounds. And with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 1.5 liter EcoBoost 3-cylinder that makes 181 horsepower and 190 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 8.2 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 25 miles per gallon in the city, 29 miles per gallon on the highway, for 26 miles per gallon combined with 4-wheel drive. If you want a little bit more power, a quicker 0 to 60 time with a little bit less fuel economy, you might want to look into getting the Badlands, because you can get the 2-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder there, and it makes quite a bit more power. But with more power, you get a little bit less fuel economy. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you're enjoying the video, if you've learned anything from the video thus far, please take a second, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and hit that subscribe button. The likes and comments in particular look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. So I'd appreciate it if you do those 3 things, but only if you're enjoying the video. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, like I mentioned earlier in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and it will unlock. You can also lock it by running your finger across these hash marks right here, and now it is locked. I also wanted to walk you through a couple of the functions on the key fob. Starting from the top, you have your unlock function, your lock function, your remote start function, and your panic function at the bottom. And in order to remote start the vehicle, you have to lock it and press this button twice like this, and it will fire right up. Now let's take a look at what the interior of the Outer Banks has to offer. So this one's been optioned with the ebony roast interior, and that is what it looks like. The ebony is the black, this is the roast, and we're going to start with our driver's side door panel. So you get that nicely padded roast armrest with some accent colored stitching. a satin black door handle, your unlock and your lock functions, 3 memory seat adjustment settings. You have your power side view mirror controls here and with these 2 buttons. This is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. Then you get automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners. A little bit of storage space here, a spot you could set a water bottle, and some more storage space down there. This particular vehicle has been optioned with the $1,285 tech package, which gives you the 10-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system with a subwoofer. So this is what your speaker surround looks like. Now, this is what these front seats look like. So as standard, you do get an 8-way power driver seat as well as a 6-way power front passenger seat. You also get heated front seats and a heated steering wheel as standard with this trim level. One thing I wanted to say about these seats is that they are very, very comfortable. And then you also get that little Bronco basically embossed into your seat back. But let's step on in and see what the interior of this has to offer. So I'm going to close the door, take a listen to the door. That is what it sounds like when you close this. And now basically I'm just going to walk you throughout the entire interior. So coming over to here, this button's kind of useless. So you do not get a power lift gate, but basically if you press that, it kind of like pops the manual lift gate out a little bit, and all you got to do is lift up on it. Kind of pointless in my personal opinion. But then you have your headlight control. That is headlights off. That is daytime running lights on. That is headlights in the automatic position. And then that is headlights always on. And then pressing that is going to turn your fog lights on or off. And then coming over to here, this is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons. And then flipping this down, that gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. So you can bring the steering wheel towards you, you can push it away from you, and it also moves up and down. Once you find your comfortable position, just lock it back into place like that. And that's kind of about it for that. Now, let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like. And not only is this your turn signal control stock, you have this button on the end of the stock, and that is to turn the lane keeping system on or off. Zooming back out, this is not a leather wrapped steering wheel, but it's like a premium wrapped steering wheel. And again, it is heated. One thing that's interesting about the heated steering wheel button positioning is that, see, you get a blank button right here, but then your heated steering wheel function is on the passenger side. So I feel like with that blank button there, that button should be here. I don't know why it's there. Kind of weird. But anyways, coming back over to here, again, heated steering wheel is standard. And just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen to it. That is what the horn sounds like on the Bronco Sport. And then coming down to here, you have your volume controls. Pressing on that is going to mute the audio system. And one thing I wanted to mention is that this vehicle has been optioned with the $895 Ford Copilot 360 Assist Plus, which gives you adaptive cruise control with stop and go, as well as lane centering, speed sign recognition, evasive steer assist, and built-in navigation. This is to turn your lane centering on or off. The lane keep assist, excuse me, does come standard. Again, these are your adaptive cruise control settings. And then coming to this side of the steering wheel, this is to speak to the vehicle. This is to pick up on a phone call as well as go back on a track. This is to hang up on a phone call as well as go forwards on a track. And then all of these controls here are all to control your 6.5-inch LCD instrument panel located at the center of your gauge cluster. So on the left-hand side, you have your tachometer. On the right-hand side, you have your speedometer. Then down here, that's your coolant temperature gauge. That is your fuel gauge down there. Transmission status stuff. And right now, this is what's displaying on the LCD display. Right now, it's like your intelligent four-wheel drive stuff. So if I floored this vehicle, see all of these different boxes here. Those would all be filled in because the four-wheel drive system would be using all four wheels to power it forward, whereas if you're cruising on the highway, you give it a little bit of gas, it's more going to use like the front wheels. And then it's also showing me the compass, the ambient exterior temperature, the digital speedometer readout, as well as the fuel range and the odometer. So again, to navigate throughout this screen, I have this button here so I can go in between my audio stuff. Then I have my fuel economy, trip 1, tire pressure stuff, back to intelligent four-wheel drive. But if I click this, I can also go into like my audio stuff. So you can see all the different audio stuff. You can go in between your navigation stuff, all of those different things. Then you have your phone stuff, settings. So you can go into your settings here, reset the oil life, So very basic screen, but that's a good thing because it's very easy to use. And then this is your windshield wiper control stock. Again, you do get the rain sensing wipers with the Outer Banks. So up top here, you got a Bang & Olufsen speaker. And then coming down just a little bit more, this is the standard 8-inch Sync 3 infotainment system with wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto connectivity. So right now it's showing me the time, the temperature. That's my home button. You have all of these shortcut buttons down here. So you got your audio. It's going to shortcut you into your audio stuff. It's going to shortcut you into your phone stuff, shortcut you into your navigation stuff, your different apps and your different settings. So this is one of the settings screen. We can go into driver assistance stuff. So here are all of your different driver assistance settings here. You can see all of that stuff. Back out of that, you can pause it if you want to check that stuff out. You also have your vehicle settings throughout here as well. Screen's being a little clunky right now, but this is what the screen looks like. Here are all of your different vehicle settings. And then this is the second setting screen. You do have this is a Wi-Fi hotspot capable vehicle. And then third setting screen. That's kind of about it for that screen. Very easy to use, very basic, not much going on with that screen. And then coming down just a little bit more, volume control, tuning control, auto stop start on or off button, hazard button. This right here is going to bring you into your tone settings. You can go between your bass, treble, mid-range, all of these different things. Backwards on a track, forwards on a track, play or pause on a track. This is going to turn the screen to a clock. Click that one more time, it turns the screen off. Touch anywhere on the screen and the screen will come back to life. Then you got push button, start button, a little bit of storage space. Right now I got my pen in there, 703 speed pen, and a wind mic for my camera. Then you get your passenger airbag stuff. You do get dual zone climate control as standard. It is an automatic climate control system. And again, you do get heated front seats as standard with 3 levels of adjustability. Heated steering wheel with 1 level of adjustability. And that is your climate control stack. Coming down just a little bit more, again, with the $1,285 tech package, you do get a wireless charging pad. So this is where the wireless charging pad is. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it fits in that wireless charging pad down there. And it will let you know once the wireless charging pad is charging. It will let you know on screen. Then you get a USB-C port, a USB-A port, and a 12-volt power outlet. You get 2 cup holders here. This is your transmission dial. So twisting all the way to the right, it's going to put you into drive. All the way to the left, park, and then that is going to put you into low. Electronic parking brake here. If you wanted to disengage the electronic parking brake, you have to push your foot down on the brake, push against that, and then the parking brake will disengage. This is your auto hold function. Let's say you're tired of holding your foot down on the brake in traffic. If you press on that, the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. And then you have your GOAT modes, just like the regular Bronco. GOAT stands for goes over any terrain. It's basically your different drive modes. So if I go into here, starting with this mode, you get normal mode, you get your eco mode, you have your sport mode. You can see they change. Then you have your slippery mode. And then all the way to the right is sand. But personally, I'm not going to do any of that stuff, so I'm just going to leave it in normal mode. And then you get a nicely padded armrest, some accent colored stitching, and then opening this thing up, you get a USB-A port, a USB-C port, I'd say about 9 to 10 inches of depth, and then probably from here to here about 8 inches, and then from there to there maybe about 9 or 10. So decent amount of space in there. Actually quite a bit of space in here considering the size of this little SUV. And then coming back over to here, you do not get a lockable glove box, but you get quite a bit of storage space, especially quite a bit of depth down with that glove box. And then coming up to here, you get an auto dimming rear view mirror. This is whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the door. So right now how it's flush, when I open up the door, the lights will turn on. If I have it up like that, like I push the right side up, now when I open up the door, the lights will not turn on. And then if I push it up to the left, that is your instant dome light on button. Now you see these 2 controls here. So this particular vehicle has been optioned with the $920 moonroof. So you get the power shade and the power roof. So if I press that, the shade is going to close. But because it's open, we're going to leave it open. And I wanted to show you how it slides back. I've actually never been in a Bronco Sport with a moonroof, so it's kind of cool to see. Does it go back any further? Nope, that's as far as it goes back. And then I also want to see, we're going to test it here now together, does it tilt? Okay, it does tilt. That is awesome. Okay, so it tilts and slides for those wondering. And then you get a spot, you can set some sunglasses up top here. With the tech package, you do get the universal garage door opener. You can open up 3 different garage bays. Then you get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights and a little clip here. You can set registration. This slides forwards and backwards to your liking, depending on when the sun is in those awkward positions. And then closing that back up, that's really kind of about it for what we got going on here in these front seats. So like I said, these seats are very comfortable. If you've ever sat in a Ford before, you know, their seats are very, very comfortable, and this is no different. So a couple things I wanted to go over. Basically, I'm just going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at the 3 different packages that this vehicle has. For the Ford Copilot 360 Assist Plus, because I don't know if it displays what you get with that, but basically with that package, you get the adaptive cruise control with stop and go, you get lane centering, speed sign recognition, evasive steer assist, and voice activated navigation. You can read over the 2 other options, or a few other options that this vehicle has. But now I'm just going to go over the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Outer Banks is spec'd is $40,805. And honestly, for the money, it's a pretty nice SUV. I gotta admit, you know, it's got everything that you need. I do wish it had Sync 4. I do wish it had a 360-degree view camera system. But other than that, I don't really wish for anything else, because it's got everything else that you really need on a vehicle and want on a vehicle as well. And it's also like pretty good to drive as well. Like, I know it's got a 3-cylinder and you may be like, ugh, but it's really not that bad. It's not slow, really. And if you need a little bit more, you can get the Badlands that has the 2-liter EcoBoost, which gives you quite a bit more power. But I want to show you what we got going on here in the rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. So I'm going to grab this seatbelt here, and this is something you want to do. Grab the seatbelt out of the way first, then close that, so then the seatbelt doesn't get caught in the seat. But this is what the door panel looks like back here. Pressing on that, again, you get automatic up and down windows here in the back, and that is as far down as they go. There's a view of that. Again, automatic up, nicely padded armrest. Little bit of storage space, a spot you could set a water bottle. This is what these second row seats look like. You can see the kind of like 3 different colors, pretty cool, and they all accent each other nicely. You get a center fold down armrest with 2 cup holders. But stepping on into these rear seats, I am 5'9". By the way, man, these seats are like sitting on a couch. I sat in them, I'm like, oh man, these are comfy. But anyways, 5'9", I am adjusted behind myself. I've got plenty of knee and leg room. Here's another view of that knee and leg room. Then you get a seat back pocket behind the driver's seat. You get a seat back pocket behind the passenger seat. You also get these like mole straps here. You could set different tools if you wanted to. One thing that's also pretty cool is you see these pockets on the sides of these seats. You could set a phone in there if you wanted to. Up top here, you get an OPU panel and a spot you could set your dry cleaning. You also get your dome lights here as well. You get 2 of them. Then OPU panel on that side, another spot you could set your dry cleaning. And then moving over to here, you get 2 HVAC vents. You get a USB-C port, a USB-A port, as well as a 110 volt or a 150 watt household power outlet down in there as well. Again, 2 cup holders, a nicely padded armrest. I've got plenty of headroom due to that safari style roof. I mean, plenty of headroom. And then these seats themselves are just super, super comfortable. They've got a great level of recline. And then I feel like, and I said this in the video I just did with a Bronco, I feel like I have like a pillow on my lumbar area, and like just the entire seat is just super, super comfortable. So if you got kids, your kids are going to be very comfortable here in the rear seats, as well as adult passengers as well, like me. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video, where I always start my videos here. We go over these speed bumps at 5 miles an hour, and then I rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. Pretty decent over the first one. Got good low end torque here. Let's see how she does over the second one at about 5. I'm gonna give it a 7.8 on a scale of 1 to 10. It kind of is firm-ish over the speed bumps. However, just in day-to-day use, I think you'll appreciate that suspension, because it's very good going over just regular bumps here on the road, and then it also handles pretty well. Like you may notice, like there's really not all that much body roll, which is very good if having to do like a high speed maneuver. And then here's a nice little acceleration on to the roadway. Like I said, man, it really isn't underpowered by any means. It's got great low end torque. Obviously, you may notice I'm only one person here riding in the vehicle, so I couldn't tell you how it accelerates, you know, with 4 other people in the vehicle. But with just one person, it's got plenty of get up. And if you need a little bit more power, they do have the Badlands. It is the next trim level up. It is the top dog trim level. But it is going to give you the 2-liter EcoBoost, which makes quite a bit more power than this. I believe it's around 240 horsepower, maybe. I don't know the exact horsepower and torque figure, but I do know that it is quite a bit more than this. And then also, the 0 to 60 time is nearly 3 seconds quicker with the 2-liter EcoBoost. So that might be something you might want to look into if you're looking for a little bit more power. But again, it does do a little bit worse when it comes to fuel economy. I believe it's like 3 or 4 in the city, and then also 3 or 4 worse on the highway as well. So just something to keep in mind. Just figured I'd put that out there for those wanting a little bit more power. But now take a listen to what this, oh my God, look at the kid. Oh my goodness. That was not good. That was not good. Take a listen to what this thing sounds like cruising at about 45-50 miles an hour, going over some bridge joints and wind and road noise wise. All things considered, I think this is very well insulated from the outside world. Granted, I was just doing a video with an actual Bronco, and as you may know, with a Bronco, pretty much the entire vehicle is removable. I'm talking about like the roof and the doors. You know, the most integral pieces on a vehicle are removable, hence why the Bronco may not be the most well insulated thing from the outside world when it comes to the wind noise, when it comes to the road noise. But when it comes to the Bronco Sport, you can't remove the roof and you can't remove the doors. So it is actually very well insulated from the outside world, especially considering the price point. You know, I haven't driven this thing at 80 miles an hour, so I couldn't tell you what it sounds like cruising at about 80, but when it comes to about 55 miles an hour, I can tell you that it does sound pretty well insulated. It is a little bit breezy, not super breezy out right now, so I'm actually very impressed by how quiet it is on the when it comes to the road and the wind noise. But another thing I wanted to mention is how comfortable this thing is. The seats are so comfortable. Even the rear seats are very comfortable. You know, sometimes I find with doing all these review videos is that the front seats, manufacturers always do, for the most part, a great job. A few manufacturers need to work on their front seat comfortability. But when it comes to the rear seat, sometimes they do really good on the front, but then they lack on the rear, whereas this is comfortable both front and rear. I don't really notice that much of a difference. So Ford always does, pretty much for the most part, a great job when it comes to the seat comfortability. And this is no different. This is very, very comfortable. Another thing, with the tech package, that might be a package you might want to look into getting. I think it is worth it. Especially considering it gives you the Bang & Olufsen sound system. That makes a massive, massive difference. The standard sound system in this is not very good. Here's a little acceleration. One thing I didn't mention, but I'm going to mention now, I'm going to get back into the sound system. I love how Ford put an automatic in this and not a CVT. I love the 8-speed automatic. It makes a big difference when it comes to the drivability of this. I just much prefer an auto to a CVT. Here's about 63-ish miles an hour. Take a listen to the road and the wind noise. Again, guys, very well insulated from the outside world, and this thing's just very easy to drive. You know, it's not that big, so it's not that difficult to park. It's not that difficult to keep in the lane. Its steering is like right there. As soon as you kind of nudge it, it nudges. So that's something that I appreciate. The handling is good. Going over regular bumps is good. And then back into the sound system. The Bang & Olufsen sound system, in my opinion, is definitely worth it. I think it sounds great. It's got great bass, which is something that I appreciate, but it also has good clarity. So I would recommend getting the tech package. I know it comes at an additional cost, but it is just something that, you know, you might want to consider getting. And then you also might want to consider getting the Ford Co-Pilot 360 Assist Plus, which this one does have, and that gives you the adaptive cruise control. Need I say more? That is the reason I would get the Ford Co-Pilot 360 Assist Plus. The lane centering, I'd probably never use. Really, I'd never use the built-in navigation. I just use the CarPlay. But I do think the adaptive cruise control makes the Ford Co-Pilot 360 Assist Plus worth it, because adaptive cruise really just does make driving long distances just very easy. You know, you don't have to worry about the throttle and the brake, because it does everything for you. And it does have adaptive cruise with stop and go. So let's say you have to come to a complete stop with traffic, it will stop fully and then it will get going up again by itself. So it just makes it just makes for ease of driving. It makes it very easy. So that is something that I appreciate. It's just a great vehicle overall. I just wish it costed a little bit less. Like, I think this would be a great value at about $36,000. At $40,000, it starts to get a little bit pricey, in my opinion. But here's another little acceleration for you. Here's Lord. So you can see it's not like anemic. It's really not anemic. It's got, you know, good power. It doesn't have great power, but it's got good power. You know what I mean? And even for me, like, you're not going to be flooring it all the time. You really just want that low end torque, and the EcoBoost definitely gives you that little bit of low end torque, as you can see. I mean, it's just ease. I'm a big fan of low end torque because that's really where most of you drive, you know, the low RPM ranges. So if you got the low end torque, you don't have to downshift. So I think the 3-cylinder is great. Honestly, I don't think you really need any more power unless, you know, you really want it. Then you can upgrade to the Badlands. So really, that's kind of about it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. I do put a lot of time and effort into these videos, so if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from the video, please just take a second to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and hit that subscribe button. Again, the likes and comments in particular look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. So I'd appreciate it if you do those 3 things. But again, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.